southwest. And around about the middle of the week during the Christmas period, we're in for a very stormy spell of weather, especially in northern parts of the country. So that's something to bear in mind. Indeed, on Christmas Eve for northern parts of Britain, we have a weather watch to say gales and heavy rain could well cause some local flooding. Back to today, a weather advisory on fog. There's a lot of fog around at the moment, most of it over the hilltops, but even so, some dense patches are causing some hazardous driving conditions, and it's mostly in central and eastern parts of England and the East Wales. One or two light showers in the northwest of the country there. Otherwise, for many northern western areas, it's a bit brighter, a little bit of sunshine breaking through here and there, and I think other northern areas may just get a few glimmers of sunshine for a time this afternoon. Where it brightens up, or where it is bright, normal temperatures. Where it stays gloomy, a cold 3 degrees. Mist and fog coming back to many central and eastern areas this evening and tonight. Eastern Scotland probably joining in as well. But as the breeze freshens in the west and in the southwest, any mist there will lift. In fact, not only that, we're going to have thickening cloud coming along later on, and the first rain arriving in Cornwall probably around about daybreak. Mild in the west, rather chilly in the east. Now this front here is going to take its time to creep across the country, but it will bring outbreaks of rain into western parts during the course of tomorrow, whereas central and eastern areas have another rather dull and gloomy day. And then the fronts begin to get their act together, get a move on Tuesday, a couple of them moving across. So two separate bands of rain, probably a little drier interlude in between, and some more general brighter weather with showers following along behind, and by that time quite mild just about everywhere. Now this is the problem. This is the trouble on Christmas Eve, on Wednesday. A very deep area of low pressure moving across close to or even over Scotland, and that is going to bring some very strong winds indeed, could even bring some storm force winds to those northwestern parts, and certainly gales in many other places, and some very wet weather too, although the wet weather will eventually give way to brighter conditions with blustery showers. It stays windy on Christmas Day, again with fronts moving across, so it's a case of bright and breezy really, but showers around in the west and in the north, and those showers perhaps merging to give a more general spell of rain moving across the country during the course of the day. And again, it's going to be windy with gales in the west and in the north, and still windy, as you see, at the end of the week into Boxing Day. But by that time, the wind's coming round from a more westerly direction, so a little bit more of a chilly feel to the day probably come Boxing Day. Central and eastern areas probably staying dry and fairly bright with some shelter, but in the west and in the north, those strong winds will continue, and they're going to bring with them some blustery showers from time to time. The only hint of any snow possibly on the Scottish mountains before the day's out. That's all from me. Happy Christmas.